Hey guys, my name is Lily and today I want to bring you the news from Europe, and today especially I want to discuss the blackout in Spain. Now I'm a little bit late on this topic here, but actually I wanted to wait a little bit until I make this video because I did not want to spread misinformation, and at the beginning of this blackout there was a lot of misinformation and false interpretations. So when this blackout happened in Spain, immediately first they were saying, oh, it's a cyber attack. It's a cyber attack, we got attacked. That turned out not to be true. So a few days later they said, oh, it's not a cyber attack. And I saw a lot of other YouTubers jumping on it and saying, oh, it's a cyber attack, cyber attack. It could have been a cyber attack, but guys, you have to know that in the first hours, in the first days of a blackout, they mostly don't even know themselves where this is coming from. It will take weeks and months to elaborate why the blackout happened. So if there's another blackout in future and they tell you anything in the first hours, it's probably not true, okay? So it's always good, to observe and see what other news are coming out. So there was this mega blackout in Spain, Portugal and parts of France. And first they were telling us that it's a cyber attack, which was not the case, so I never bought into this. And why did I not buy the story of the cyber attack? Because of the time that the blackout happened on this day. And the time was 12:30 according to this first article. Later we found out that the blackout already started at 11 something in Portugal. Then it swapped over to Spain. And then Spain tried to export the electricity, which was too much in the system, in the grid, to France, to Africa. And that also caused a power blackout in France. It was a really sunny day and the solar panels were putting out a lot of power. And here it's saying that Spain has a whole lot of solar power. So on some days they can even hit 100% of renewable power on the national grid. But in general it's around 60%. So that's really high. And as we know, solar causes fluctuations in the electric grid. So because of the time that the blackout happened, I thought maybe it has to do with the solar panels. And actually it's not incorrect to say, because here you can see that there was too much electricity in the grid, which is the green. The green color is solar panels, solar energy. And then you can see that the electric grid collapsed, and then here there was a drop in frequency, and that was causing the blackout. So there was too much of solar energy in the system. So now why did this happen? Why did nobody, take away the other plants, power plants from the grid? You can immediately separate, for example, I don't know, a coal plant or a natural gas plant. So that's a really big question. So then I thought, okay, it's probably the renewable energy which has caused this. But then I read this article here, and in this article they are saying that actually the blackout could have been caused by an atmospheric event. And in this article they are writing about the solar storm could have been able to cause a blackout. And as we know, the magnetic field of our Earth is weakening. So even a small solar storm could have induced a power surge into the solar panels and led to a blackout. And that's also a very interesting theory. And then I saw this interview that I want to show you in just a few seconds between Tim Pool and Ben Davidson. And if this is true, then we are really fried.
They were noticing a surge in the solar power output. Basically, the solar panels, for some reason that they can't understand or explain, surged power through the system. Now, while this was happening, I was taking a look at the data about the ionosphere, which is the electric layer up at the top of the atmosphere. It got hit. It took a major hit. And then you could see this energy coming down through the atmosphere through what we call the global atmospheric electric circuit, where not only can you see it vertically moving up and down, but you can use the ground level winds to see where it's going to go. It follows the water vapor in the atmosphere, in the wind. Water, electricity, they kind of like each other. And so you could see it coming down, and then that electricity surge go right into Portugal, Spain, and France at the exact same time.
Wow.
As the blackout. Now, here's the interesting thing. They have a pretty good idea about what that was, but the fact that they also saw the solar panels inexplicably surge their output at the exact same time is the definitive clue.
All right, so this was the interview between Tim Pool and Ben Davidson. Really interesting. You can watch the whole podcast on Tim Pool's channel. Also, I find it very concerning. If this is correct, we will have pretty big troubles in near future. So that is a problem and could have been one cause of the blackout in Spain. Up to this day, they don't know what it caused. Also, it will take weeks and months until they know and can tell us what really happened. So the next time there's a blackout, make sure that you don't buy anything they are saying, especially in the first few days, because usually they just tell us, the peasants, something so that we shut up. And telling the population, hey, we had a cyber attack, is the best solution for them, because then they can say it's not our fault, right? So yeah, always be careful in what you believe, in what they are telling us. Always doubt what they are telling us in the first few days, because most of the time they don't even know it themselves, and that's the truth. Yeah, then finally a lot of people realized how dangerous the blackout is. So we had a lot of information going on in Austria and in Germany, information letters, what you should prepare for a blackout. So when everything is standing still, like the trains, do you have a plan to get home? When the internet is not working, how will you contact your loved ones? Sometimes the phone is working a little bit longer, but you don't know how long this is lasting. So do you have an emergency plan with your family? And I think this blackout was maybe a wake-up call for a lot of people who are unprepared. But now, at least in Spain and Portugal, a lot of people know what a blackout is, what the consequences are. For example, the hospitals in Spain immediately ceased all of the operations that they didn't need to do anymore. So the beds are free for accident victims. And that's what's very dangerous about a blackout. So if there's a blackout, you don't have any traffic lights, and this will lead to accidents and injured people. And then you have the trouble of getting into the hospital when all of the streets are jammed. And also that's the reason why hospitals have a generator, emergency generator. So here in Austria, I know that most hospitals, they will get along by 48 hours. And they have generators, they have diesel, and for 48 hours they can maintain the hospital activity. But of course, if it's taking longer, there will be a problem. Then the military has to help. So the most important thing is the hospitals and keeping them active, of course. The next thing that they did was they actually have restored some of the electricity. And first, they restored electricity in Madrid, which is the main city in Spain. And that's a good decision, because actually a blackout in the cities is very dangerous, and you want to restore law and order in the cities first. At the countryside, people are more prone to helping each other. So first, the decision is to restore the electricity in the main cities. Here in Austria, they were writing a lot of articles. How can we prepare better for a blackout, and how can we prepare the population? And that's a good thing. I think everybody should be prepared for at least maybe 3 days of a blackout situation. The problem is that in summertime, when it's hot, you need some kind of refrigeration. So you need some kind of solar system or power station to keep your meat from rotting away. And here in Austria, I know that the supermarkets, the bigger ones, they have generators for 48 hours. So for 48 hours, the meat will get cooled, but after that, we will have a real problem. So let's hope that the blackout, if it happens, never exceeds the 48-hour mark, because The longer it takes, the more severe the problems will get. So yeah, really dangerous. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned till next time.